Okay, let's talk about the dumbbell Y raise. We're going to watch some of the reps, and then we'll talk about the execution and the setup. Okay, so let's talk about the setup here. We'll start at the bottom of the first rep here. Bench is going to be on a 45-degree angle-ish. Not all benches are going to tell you exactly what angle that is. It's going to be several notches above flat, but still a couple notches short of upright. Chest is going to be resting against the bench. Ideally, your head is up and off the bench. Arms are going to start perpendicular to the floor. Mine are a little bit in front, but what I don't want is I don't want your arm to be on this side, over on this side. So I don't want you to bring your arms past this point on the way back, right? Does that make sense? Once you pass this perpendicular with the ground position, you're not stretching the delt under any more load. You're just using that as an opportunity to build momentum into the rep. All of the work happens from perpendicular upward. Anytime your arm crosses it over into this direction, past this perpendicular spot, you're just using that to generate momentum. I wouldn't recommend doing that. And then the top position is going to be like you're doing the YMCA. Arms are going to be directly overhead in something like this Y here that you see me doing. Some people might find that their Y is a little bit closer together. Some people a little bit wider. I will comment on that in form videos, but I think that that's necessary. What's helpful for me for ending up in the correct position is starting with the dumbbells slightly angled. You'll see that my palms are not facing each other. The dumbbells are not kind of touching plate to plate. They're on a slight angle, which makes this Y raise very natural for me because the dumbbells are staying in that same kind of palm down motion here. Cool. Other things on this exercise, we are trying to get into this fully overhead position. This position, you know, I know we've been doing lateral raises for our whole lives, and usually when we do lateral raises, they're directly out to the side, but this Y position right here is actually the fully shortened position for your lateral head of your delt, the delt that is like on the side of your arm. And so that's what we're doing this exercise for. It is a fully shortened lateral delt. However, you will also be working your lower traps, which are basically dead center on your back. You can't see them from here, but probably even with about my cursor here, but on the back side, in the middle of my back. And so if you are feeling some tension in that mid-back, that is okay. It's a good thing. That is part of the main purpose of this exercise. We are working the medial delts, but we are also working the lower traps. As you can see, I'm using 10-pound dumbbells here. You are not going to need heavy loads for this exercise. If you're using, I'm not saying if you're using X amount of weight, it's too heavy, but what I am saying is relatively, this is going to be very light. For a couple of reasons. One, it's a very isolated movement to the lateral delt and a little bit of the lower trap as well, but also it is a very shortened position exercise here, meaning this position is extremely difficult. And I need you getting to this top position. You know, if I use lighter dumbbells, I'd be able to do this motion down here. But if I really want to get all the way overhead, I'm going to need something that's going to allow me to do that. And so I'm using a pair of 10s. Use that information as you will. What I would say is common mistakes are generating too much momentum out of the bottom. Now, you guys will see that I will write specific tempo, you know, per mesocycle, depending on what I want for that mesocycle. But a big mistake across the board is generating too much momentum out of the bottom and flinging the dumbbells up. I want smooth, I want controlled. Can you pull up hard? Yes, but I don't want you exploding up. When you combine this explosive intent, this momentum generating tempo, with moving your arms back and starting from this back position here, you end up making the bottom position more difficult and the top position more easier. And that's not what we want. I want this top position to be by far the hardest part of the movement. So don't use too much weight so that you don't need a lot of momentum. Get to this fully top position. If there's a pause, shit, we're going to need really light dumbbells. And let's make the most of this exercise. This is not our mission here is to not, you know, PR in terms of load. You know, what I want you guys to do first is make sure the movement looks really clean, really crisp, and we're getting to this fully short position with not a lot of momentum or no momentum, ideally. All right.